Hello, hello. This is Marcus Xink, and let's learn a little more about present continuous and present simple. It's the second video of the series. There's unit 1 you can watch as well. And we are learning some interesting aspects of uses of present continuous and simple that we maybe didn't know while we were studying elementary level, intermediate level, because we learn that, for example, we use present simple habits, but we are going to learn now that we can also use present continuous to talk about habits. Very interesting topic to talk about. We often use the present simple and present continuous in stories and jokes in informal spoken English to create the impression that events are happening now. This can make them more direct and exciting and hold people's attention. Let me get the brush to highlight some things, some parts of the topic here. She goes up to this man and looks straight into his eyes. He's not wearing his glasses and he doesn't recognize her. Okay, you're telling a story and then you use present simple. Um, Obviously, it isn't happening at the moment, so you could say she went up to this man and looked it straight, but you are telling a story and you use present simple. This man's playing golf when a kangaroo bounds up to him, grabs his club, and hits his ball about half a mile. Oh, well, that's an interesting way to tell a story, bringing a kangaroo to play golf. We see that every day, don't we? No, we don't. But this is the interesting thing about the story, and this is how we use present simple and continuous to tell a story. The main events are usually described in sequence using the present simple, and longer background events are described using the present continuous. This man's playing golf is the background. A kangaroo bounds up to him, grabs his club, and hits the ball, and this is described in present simple. In narratives and anecdotes, the present simple can be used to highlight an event. Present simple to highlight something. Often it's used after past tenses and with phrases such as suddenly or all of a sudden. Look at this example here. I was sitting in the park reading a newspaper when all of a sudden this dog jumps at me. It isn't happening now, but you were giving the background, the idea in the past simple, giving a story to people, and then you say something in the present to create like such or to highlight something. Very interesting use of present simple here. Let's go to B. We also use the present simple and present continuous in live commentaries. For example, on sports events, when the report takes place at the same time as the action. King serves to the left-hand court and Adam makes a wonderful return. She's playing magnificent tennis in this match. You see, we use present simple to describe a situation in a live commentary. If you watch sports on TV or radio, you are going to listen to present simple very frequently and continuous as well to give information. Look at C now. We can use the present simple in phrases such as it says here, I hear, I gather, I see, I understand, and they say. Someone says, someone tells me, to introduce news that we have heard, read, or seen, for example, on TV or been told. We can also use past tenses. It said here, or I heard, but it's very common to use in the present. Although I heard some time ago and now I'm telling you. Instead of saying, I gathered you were worried about Pedro, I say, I gather you worried about Pedro. Sophia tells me you were thinking of emigrating. It isn't Sophia told me, it's Sophia tells me. Professor Hendricks is at the conference, and I hear she's an excellent speaker. Well, the point is that you heard she's an excellent speaker, but you say it now in the present. It's interesting. It's a different and interesting use of present simple. Here, the present simple is often used in news headlines to talk about events that have recently happened. So, the events happened in the past, of course. You read in the newspaper today about things that happened yesterday. Do you read newspapers? I never read newspapers. I read the news online. But at the same time, or just like that, we read the news about past events, right? But the headlines are in the present. Look at these examples here. Second quake hits Japan. Fire breaks out in hotel room. Scientists find ice on the moon. Foreign minister resigns. Very interesting pieces of news headlines. I'd like to read the news. Oh, they encourage me to read the news, but we have them in the present. We can use the present simple to refer to the contents of books, films, newspapers, etc. For example, Thompson gives a list of the largest European companies in Chapter 6. So let's read Chapter 6 to learn more about big European companies. At the beginning of the book, three men find 4 million in a crashed plane. What would you do if you found $4 million in a crashed plane? Would you keep the money? Would you give to the police? Would you try to find the owners? Well, in the film, Lonnie Baranski takes the role of a private detective. Nice, right? Well, this is this use of present simple. We can use the present continuous with adverbs such as always, constantly, continually, or forever to emphasize that something is done so often that it's characteristic of a person, group, or thing. Just like I said, usually we describe actions or habits in present simple, but to to emphasize that something is really constant and it defines a person, you use in the continuous tense. That's very interesting. Look at the examples. I think I'll stay here after all. Oh, you're constantly changing your mind. Jacob is a really kind person. He's always offering to help me with my work. Oh, that's very kind, isn't it? But look, we often use this pattern to indicate disapproval. Not here in the case of in Jacob's case, but usually this is the use. The past continuous is used in a similar way with these adverbs. For example, was Olivia always asking you for money too? So he can also use past continuous. We can use the present continuous to describe something we regularly do at a certain time. Look, habits again. At 8 o'clock, I'm usually driving to work. So phone me on my mobile. Okay, at 8 o'clock, I leave home going to work. It's a habit. But as at that time you are still driving, you can use present continuous. At 8 o'clock, I'm usually driving to work. It's perfectly normal. 7 o'clock is a bit early. We're generally eating them. Then, oh, louco, eating them. Sorry, 7 o'clock is a bit early to call, for example, because we are usually eating. We have breakfast at 10. So at 7 o'clock, you are eating. So please, let's talk later about something. That's it. This is the explanation. If you liked the video, strike the like button. And I hope you really have improved your English by watching this video. Uh, Now, if you want, you can watch the second video on Unit 2, because now I'm going to show you some exercises to practice the language, these topics of grammar, and improving even more your English. All right? So see you in the second video. Bye bye.